Can you see what it says? Love me, I'm Norsk. Welcome again. We are so glad that you are here. It's delightful to reacquaint ourselves with those of you that we don't get to see very often. We hope that all of our children will mix and get to know each other. We come from a great heritage. Later on, we're going to talk a little bit about our heritage and our grandparents that we all share. We were going to start our program today, and we're all going to sing God Bless America, just the one verse. And then I have asked Alice, Uncle Hilmer's wife, if she would lead us in devotions.
She said she's the youngest. I am. Take our heads, our loving Father. We come before thee with our hearts full of love for thee. Thank thee for this precious time in which we can be together. Thank thee for the privilege of knowing that we have those who love us and whom we can love. So as we reach out to all these precious ones, we pray that thou would bless them in a special way. May their days be filled with joy because they love thee. May they find in themselves the peace and happiness that thou hast come into this world to give. And we pray that thou would give journeying mercies to those who return to their special homes. Keep us all close to thee and have thy way. Help us to walk softly before thee in love. And thy name shall be praised. And we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Alice. You know, Lena came home one day, and she had on a new hat, and told Ole, "Just bought myself a new hat. I like to buy a new hat when I feel myself down in the dumps." And Ole replies, "Wondered where you'd gotten it." And who might you be?
Well, I don't know what a little Swede is doing here. But anyway, I came because I got so much news. You know, can I stand here? My name is Sissa Mossberg.
Oh, well, how do you do, Miss Mossberg?
Thank you very much. I just wanted to tell you that there is, I haven't been in this country so very long, you know. Having so much fun here. And when I see so many cars here, I thought maybe I could cheer you up a little bit with some news. You know, I am not a skvaller charing. You know, how many know what a skvaller charing is? Well, that's one that gossips a lot, you know. That's what a skvaller charing is, but I'm not one of those. Well, I think the woman who gossips is, you know, but I'm a nice, quiet woman. but never talk about anything unless unless I have something to talk about. Well, you look like a bunch of very educated people, and so you will understand how I feel. Well, when I was walking around the building around here, I met somebody whose name was Olson. And I said, you must be a Swede then, if your name is Olson. I should say not, he said. I was born and raised in Norway. I'm a Norwegian still, and I'll die a Norwegian. Well, I said, goodness sakes, man, don't you ever want to improve yourself? Well, when I come over here from Sweden, I came by boat, And I like to listen when people are talking so that I find out some news. And here the first mate was talking to the two sailors, and he said, fellows, it's time that you change your underwear. Sven, you change with Ole. And Ole, you give yours to Sven. Well, I thought that was terrible. Well, my goodness sake alive, I got to tell you about that coffee coloss that I just come from. There was so many misses there, I can hardly remember who was there all. That sure been some party. Believe me, kid, like my son Oscar used to say sometime, there was 80-cent Java coffee, 3 kinds of cake, cookies, gingersnap and knäckebröd, primost and lefsa and sill and gammelost and rullapulsa. Well, that looks to be quite a combination, almost as good as what we had here today. A real combination. And so much news I find out. I don't know, it was from about 2 o'clock till 17 minutes past 3:30, 4 minutes. Then I shake goodbye with the lady of the house. She's a nice, quiet woman. Oh, she never talks about anything, unless she's got something to talk about, Well, last week, she told me this, that Mrs. Swenson, she's seen Lena Lindström keeping company with Knut Åkerström. And he was kissing her goodnight. And he was so bashful, he got tongue-tied after that. Well, I know that this is true. Because Mrs. Gunnarsson, she told me that, and she's a nice, quiet woman. And never talk about anything, that unless she got something to say, like I said. Of course, it's none of my business. But Mrs. Kortleg Carlson, she's that kind of a squeller cherry, too. Well, like I say, I can keep my mouth shut, just as shut as an oyster with a toothache. And that is if I want to, But I want to tell you about Mrs. Knäckebröd Knudsen anyway. Other day, she was running around all afternoon from house to house, drinking coffee for beet to oil up her jaw. Well, she keep busy till the blowpipe on the shop whistle was blowing 6 o'clock. And then she run home and slammed the coffee pot on the stove just 5 minutes before her husband man came home. And he said, Kaisa, where is supper? And she said, my goodness, Collie, I've been so busy all day I ain't got time to make supper. But I heard the blowpipe was blowing 6 o'clock on the shop whistle. Well, he was so mad, he threw the coffee pot on the floor. And then, oh, you know what she did? She hit him on the nose with a dry lutefisk. Really, I think they should make a prohibition on coffee. It just makes some woman just crazy. Look at Mrs. Carlson. She's gone and joined the Women's Suffering Society. And her old man been suffering ever since. You see, her old man has got a cork leg. And when he come home every night, she takes the leg off and locks it up in the closet, so he has to stay home with the baby. Well, then she goes and run around and drink coffee with the ladies and listens to all the news, you know. Well, I guess even if he's only got one leg, her man is quite a stepper, you know. No man cared to have a woman, but is always chewing the rag. That's why I get along so good with my man. You know, I told Mrs. Carlson one day when I was at her house, the dust on your piano is so thick, I think I could write my name on it. And you know what she said? Oh, she said it must be wonderful to have a good education. I said to my husband one day, the man next door is so thoughtful and kind to his wife. He brings her flowers and candy and gives her a kiss when he comes home. Well, why can't you do that? Well, he said, but I hardly know the woman. You know, my son Oscar used to say, and he always he always said that he was going to marry a rich girl. Now I think he will never get married because he told me that he wanted to go to college and study for a bachelor's degree. So I think that's just crazy to go to college, to stay away from getting married. Well, I guess I don't understand college very well. I have a nephew and he went to college for 8 years to take medicine. And when he come home, he still got sick. I've been sick too, but I take medicine 2 weeks and I got well. You know, my man used to be a seat setter in church. Do you know what seat setter means? Well, you know, when they tell people, well, you sit here and you sit there in church, you know. Well, one Sunday he got so nervous. He got all mixed up. And one of the women got in the wrong pew. And you know how it is. We like to sit in the same pew when we come to church. Well, he got so nervous, so he said, "Pardon me, Padam, but you are occupying the wrong pie. Let me sew you to another sheet." Well, you know, I don't go around to tell everything what I know. Nobody can pump anything out of me. Well, excuse me, I hear the blowpipe on the shop whistle is blowing 6 o'clock, and I better go home and make supper for my Johan.
Thank you for coming. And we are glad to have a few sweets in this group, too. You know, we Scandinavians are not known for our demonstrative feelings towards one another. And Lena said to Ole, after they had been married many years, "Ole, you never tell me that you love me anymore." And Ole answered her, "Well, Lena, I told you when we got married that I love you, and if it changes, I'll tell you." Ole had received cufflinks and a short-sleeved shirt for Christmas, so he had to he had to pierce his wrists. That's what I'm trying to say. I pushed that one up a bit. We are very proud of our heritage, and I'm going to ask Elaine to tell us a little bit. It was really great when you think 2 of our ancestors came to this country, met and married, and think back to that time and some of the things that they went through. And Elaine is going to give us a little bit of the, you know, whatever you want to.
That wasn't what I intended to do.
Oh.
for all of you people that haven't seen this, this is the beginning of the printed form of our family. You didn't have to make me nervous by doing that. It goes back on Grandpa Hanson's side. This is great-grandpa Anderson, and it goes all the way back to, in the 1600s, we have just one parent. Now, all I did was do the typing and all this. It was actually Lenore and Phyllis that have done most of the research, along with a lot of you people that have done research on this. Goes back to, this is great-grandpa Anderson and his mother and father, two sides. This is as far back as any of our ancestors has been traced. Then it goes on, I won't be able to show you really, started out with the descendants of Hans Andersen, and this is where Grandpa Hansen is going to be. We have a lot more information on these people, and that's where you see this big chart that's over here with all of great-grandpa Andersen and all of his children. He had 2 wives and he had 15 children. And according to that chart, all of the names of his children, his grandchildren, well, I don't know. Lenore sent information over last year, and I know that my little grandsons are on that thing too, and they're only 4 and 6 years old, and they're on this one too. Then there's a little bit about Grandma Hansen's family. We don't have anything on Grandma Hansen except her parents. And I think all of you know that her parents came to Minnesota from Norway. They came along with, Ole Walden was the first one to come, and then he sponsored Grandma and Grandpa, or great-grandma and great-grandma Hansen, Oldsdatter. No, it was Ole Olsen Bard, excuse me, I can't pronounce it, and Anna Tronstadter. They were our great-great-grandparents. No, our great-grandparents. Got one extra one in there. And Annie Fuss and her parents came over first, and then afterwards, our grandma came over with her 5 children. And the littlest one was a year and a half. And they all came to Minnesota. Grandma remarried after she came to Minnesota to Grandpa Hansen, and then most of us came from there. For those of you around the Lake Lillian area, it's known that Grandpa and, great-grandma and great-grandpa lived in a log cabin on the corner of what is now County Road 8 and Highway 7. Just south of Lake Lillian, where the cemetery is, in that area, someplace on that corner. They had an old log cabin there. There were 4 children born to these people: Annie Fuss, Grandma, Ole Walden, and by the way, Ole Walden changed his name when he was in the service because there were too many Ole Olsons in the service. And then there was a twin to Caroline Fuss. I'm sorry, I keep saying Annie Fuss. I mean Caroline Fuss. The twin, but she died in Norway before they ever came here. We have the names of, we don't have an awful lot of information on the Fuss family. So if anybody's got any more information or knows how we can accumulate any more information on the Fuss descendants, we'd appreciate that. Then we have information in here on Grandma Hansen's first children. Not an awful lot. And really, there were only 2 of them that were married. And only one of them had any children, and that was Annie Okers. Minnie married, but she had stepchildren. You see, and the others were not married. None of the others were married. We have more information on that. Then when you look through, it goes into this kind of chart. And most of this is on you people. Starting here at this one, we have all of Olga's family. And then in the rest of the sheets, all of Olga's grandchildren and great-grandchildren, whatever, are there, you see. And then it goes on to Patty and Hannah and Olaf and Homer and Mamie. All of that should be complete in here, so if you want to look at your own section and see whether something's missing or something, you see, you're welcome to, but study this book if you want to. Now, that's it, I guess. Unless you can think of anything else,
Real loud. Minnie Summerlet was my father's stepmother, who was part of this family. Dad, my father, Floyd, was the youngest of 4. And Berlene and I are his children. And Florence is his wife. And then Marilyn and Gary Larson. Berlene, I should say, Berlene Bob Heisinger, Gary and Marilyn Larson, mother, and Lucille Kelchin. What else do you want to know?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
We are descendants of
My sister Annie and her daughter Della as the Wright family, and Helen is married to her brother Harvey.
I got 12.
And Lowell is her son, Helen's son, and then it's Donna and Harold Peterson. They're Arthur's. She's Arthur's daughter. Donna is Arthur's daughter. And then Myra was Clarence's wife. And Jean's children. They live in Lakewood. Brett and Lindsay Peterson.
8 oldest daughters. That's Hazel's daughter. Did you get that?
Okay, we're all descendants of Patty. This is my sister Jeanette and Vernon Hughes, her husband. I'm Elaine Moore. This is my son Terry and his wife Sue and my grandson Bradley and David. My son Daniel over there and his wife Janine, excuse me, Sue, right in front of you. And this is Joseph and Paula and little Emily. And I think little Emily might be the youngest one here today. I think so. Now there are 2 children missing here. Harvey's not here and Gertrude's not here. Gertrude lives in Delaware. Harvey lives in St. Louis Park.
This is Hannah's family. I'm not the oldest, but I'm going to do it because I'm the loudest. This is my oldest sister, Alice, and her husband, Richard. My oldest brother, Earl, and his wife, Margie. The next one in our family is Newell and his wife, Lucille. My brother, Orville's wife, Vivian. My brother, Alton, and his wife, Elizabeth. And that's my husband, Wayne. I'm Phyllis. And next to mine, and that's our new granddaughter. Then next to the youngest one here, and that's our daughter, Mary. Then next to her is my sister, Clarice, and her husband, Paul, and their son, Stephen. And that's our family that are here. We are missing some of the grandchildren. Karen is here. Karen, Clarice's daughter, is here, but she went home to get the baby a rest and hasn't come back yet. So, okay, thank you. Next, Hilmer.
I am the oldest of Olaf's family. My name is Virgie, and this is my husband Arnie, and Doris, and Marge, and Mary Ann, and Chris, and their 2 children, Jennifer and Nicholas.
In line of the Hanson kids. This is Hilmer's wife, Alice, and I'm one of the youngest daughters, Pat. We have an older sister, Lois, who will be here in a few weeks from Fairbanks, Alaska. Then I have a sister, Marcia, in California, a sister, Fran, in Edmonds, Washington, a brother, Bill, that lives on Whidbey Island where my mom lives, and the youngest brother, Vic, who lives on Whidbey Island also. And we're glad we're here. You're a great family.
Amen.
I'm Muriel. Louder. I'm Muriel, daughter of Mamie and George Vick. This is my husband, Elder Madsen, our son, Harlan, and his wife, Julie, granddaughter, Carrie, next to her, granddaughter, Janelle, and grandson, Gregory Madsen.
My wife Norma, My grandson Scott, his parents and his family isn't here yet. They're supposed to be, but we don't know. My son Douglas. What did I say wrong? My son Doug, his daughter Morgan, his son Jordan, his daughter Megan, his wife Chris. My daughter Nancy, my daughter Jerry, and her twin sister Jenny, and Jeff Wilamic. And let's see, front row we got the twin boys, Joel and Jay. Right behind them is Sarah, and the little boy over to the side is Mitchell. Tony, but this is their son, my oldest grandson. I don't know.
Daughter Lenore, my husband Bob Magnuson, my son Bruce,
my wife Barb right here, my son Brooke, and my daughter Blair.
And I'm Lorene Magnuson, Lenore's daughter.
I'm Marie Magnuson, Lenore's daughter.
I'm Mark Magnuson, Lenore's daughter, my wife.
Really, that's my son.
Put it up a little bit now.
Give him another try.
I'm the son of George Vic. My son Andy, daughter Amy, my wife Tony.
More about Minnie's family. This is a little bit more about Minnie's family. Minnie was married to Jess Summerlet. He had these children, Sydney, Ada Summerlet Anderson, Florence Summerlet Oslin, Floyd Summerlet, and Elroy Summerlet. Minnie, for all intents and purposes, raised Elroy because his mother Annie died shortly after his birth. And my father, Floyd, appreciated Minnie so very much as she was a good mother to the family, says Verlene Heisinger. In attendance, Gary at the reunion were Gary and Marilyn Larson, Elroy's oldest daughter, Bob and Verlene Heisinger, Floyd's youngest daughter, and Lucille Kelchin, Floyd's older daughter.